Welcome to the Business of Government Hour TV, a video companion to our flagship radio program. I'm Michael Keegan, your host. Each week, government executives and thought leaders join me for an informative, insightful, and in-depth conversation on improving government effectiveness. These individuals are truly changing the way government does business. How is U.S. Border Patrol securing America's borders? What are some of the challenges they face in doing so? And how is the Border Patrol using technology to meet its mission? I'll explore these questions and so much more with Carla Provost, Acting Chief of the U.S. Border Patrol. My co-host from IBM is Don Finnehagen. Take a look and take a listen and download the entire interview at iTunes or businessofgovernment.org. Carla, you mentioned that the Border Patrol just celebrated its,
93rd
birthday. So to that end, I'd like to get a sense of what your strategic vision is for the Border Patrol, and would you briefly outline some of your core priorities?
Sure. So, our overarching priority is securing the border. And we do that through attempting to obtain operational control. Operational control is a term that I know you all have heard. We've used it in the past. The Border Patrol created operational control, and under the current administration, that has made it into some of the president's executive orders. When we talk operational control, we're really talking about expanding our situational awareness, improving our capabilities in impedance and denial, and then bringing a law enforcement response to whatever it is that is, whether we're making an apprehension, an arrest, whatever is crossing the border, and bringing it to a resolution. So that takes the men and women portion of it. So in simplest of terms, border security, as I said earlier, securing the nation from those who would do us harm are our ultimate goal, and it really is our overlying priority for our strategy. We couldn't do it without the frontline men and women. That's the other portion of that model. We have to have the agents that can go out and make the apprehensions and bring that law enforcement resolution to whatever it is that's trying to cross our borders.
Clearly, as you know, your priorities line up fairly well with the next question, because I think border and immigration security are keys to the Trump administration agenda. What do you see as the most serious threats and critical trends that are shaping and informing your strategy?
So when it comes to the narcotics that are being smuggled into the country, the trends are shifting there as of late, and we've of course have some concern about the hard narcotics that are coming across the border, whether it be methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl. So that is certainly a trend that we are watching very closely, that we work with our partners in the intelligence community as we attempt to affect those transnational criminal organizations. Same with the alien smuggling, as you have seen, of course, in some of the media as of late. We're always concerned about that. The smugglers they don't care about the individuals that they're smuggling across the border, and it is certainly a concern for us. We have created units such as our BORSTAR unit, which is a border search, trauma, and rescue unit in response to some of the techniques that the alien smugglers use. So those are our main areas of concern. And of course, concerned about any of those that would bring anyone across that is looking to do more harm to terrorist threat to the country.
So, Carla, you mentioned earlier that one of the biggest challenges you're facing is the ramping up of hiring, and I'd like to delve a little deeper into that. What are some of the opportunities and challenges in this space, and what would you like to see happen to streamline hiring and help you get the folks you need?
Certainly. So obviously, like all other law enforcement agencies, we want to attract the best people, the most qualified that we can. And we're all competing, as I said earlier, for that limited applicant pool. But it's not just the numbers that pose hurdles for us. Changing generational values, the patchwork of statewide legalization of medical and recreational marijuana use is impacting us, and a growing mistrust of law enforcement. Those all impact our recruiting efforts. So we're really competing for a decreasing applicant pool. But that being said, As I stated, we're looking to hire 5,000 more Border Patrol agents, as well as personnel within CBP in the Office of Field Operations and our Air and Marine operations. So what are we doing? You talked about streamlining. One of the things that we are doing is trying to streamline the hiring process, and we've done a very good job in that aspect. It used to take approximately 469 days to hire on an applicant, so long over a year, and we're down to about 160 days in the process. Now, when I say that we're streamlining the effort, we are not, cutting anything in the aspect of it. We're not lowering standards in any way, shape, or form. We've just really looked at the process and figured out ways to streamline, whether it's in the testing, whether it's in the polygraph that we do, the entrance exam, the physical fitness tests. The applicants still have to make it through the entire background process through our basic academies. But that's an area that we've really been successful in streamlining and speeding up the process. We're also making some progress with our National Frontline Recruiting Command. We're holding this year in FY17 approximately 2,500 recruitment events. We've held nearly 1,100 special emphasis programs targeted specifically at veterans and minorities. We've forged partnerships with the CMA Music Festival, the Spartan Race, Obstacle Course, Country Jam in Colorado, the Big Ten, and one that's very close to my heart, the Big 12, because that was, it was the Big 8 when I went to school, but it's my conference. We've improved our engagement with potential recruits by launching an applicant care program, which pairs our recruiters and applicants on select job announcements to reduce the attrition, kind of what the fatigue. So our applicants have somebody specific to reach out to. So we've taken a lot of steps there, and I would say the last thing is we're getting much better at using technology to support our recruiting and our hiring efforts. We've established a digital media presence through LinkedIn, Indeed, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And we launched a mobile app called CBP Jobs for iPhone and Android, and available on iTunes and Google Play. So these are things where we're finally really using technology to support our hiring efforts.
And folks could use those apps to apply?
They certainly can.
Great.
They certainly can. And we're hiring, as I said earlier.
And you just recently released that CBP hiring app as well.
We did recently release that app, so we're excited to see the benefit that brings.
Is it too early to get a sense of its traction? Is it having
a little probably a little early,
okay.
But I think it's a great idea. Human resource management was here, they might tell you otherwise, but it's a great idea, and I think it's a great tool, especially for the new generation of really getting their interest and getting them on board.
So it's a nice segue into the next question I have, which is with the increased focus on the southern border and new focus on policy enforcement, do you see any major shifts in location of enforcement needs? Is there an increased need on the northern border?
Sure. So certainly there is an increased need on the northern border. Now, because of illegal immigration flow, the southern border is always going to be much more highly staffed than the northern border. Currently, we have a little over 2,000, right around 2,000 agents on the northern border, and we will be staffing up to at least 2,212, I believe. That being said, our trainees, our new hires, all go to the southwest border for training. So we'll have some mobility opportunities to move some of our folks up to the northern and to the coastal border as well. The threat there is very different. When you heard me earlier speak about operational control, and I was talking impedance and denial and situational awareness. On the northern and coastal borders, situational awareness is really key to our operations. So working with our partners, the intelligence community, bringing some technology up to the northern border, those are the types of things that we rely on to address the threats on our northern as well as our coastal border.
Be sure to join me next time on the Business of Government Hour TV for another informative, insightful, and in-depth conversation on improving government effectiveness. Until next time, it's businessofgovernment.org.